streaming. Cool. Wordle. Okay, so here's the deal with Wordle. I will post the assignment today. I had to check. There were 2 versions of Wordle floating around, and I had to figure out which version I was supposed to use. So that's why it's not posted yet. I think I figured out the version. I think it's this one right here. So this is what I will use to generate your project. I will also throw the instructions in here. I can probably find the instructions from last year. Courses. That looks promising. So it's probably not due Monday, September 30th this year, because that day doesn't exist. It's due the 29th. This is your first project, so I want to take some time to step through it and show you what the instructions look like. Both Professor Jed Rembold and I, we both teach this class. We've been trying to come up with different ways to display the instructions to you. The feedback we've gotten is, no, that's too much detail, and also, why don't you give us more detail? So we don't really know what to do. This has been my solution, and as an emergency backup, you can look at someone else's solution. So you can look at either of these, right? And I don't think this is current to this year, but it has the same thing. So what I did is I have letters, and then I also have numbers. Numbers are things you do. Letters are things I want to tell you. I don't know if that makes sense. But that's how, like, chapters work in textbooks, I think, right? Okay, so this is what the instructions will look like. I will change this. There will not be a GitHub Classroom link. Okay, so when you get a project, there's a starting template. This project is composed of 5 milestones. I think of the milestones as being each, like, slightly less difficult than one of the problem set problems. And then you get a little bit of difficulty back because they all work together, so you're familiar with the context. So in theory, it's the same difficulty. You're going to get these files. That's fake. That's not the one I wanted to open. You're going to get a Wordle.py, a WordleGraphics.py, an English.py, and a PGL.py. You only look at this one. You only look at Wordle.py. And you're going to write this stuff. Okay? Now, see, this has the little box at the top. I know all of you love to go into PGL and just change stuff in here. Don't do that, okay? Don't look at this file. This file it's fake. Only look at Wordle. And your hint to only look at that file is I say update only this file. It is in the instructions, okay? All right. Here's an exact copy of what it looks like. Here's an example of what it looks like when you run it. Oh, okay. I heard someone not believing me. That's okay. I have a plan. Okay, so I'm going to download the zip. Did I not hear someone not believing me? Who is the person that didn't believe me? Unwilling to show their face. That makes sense. So here's Wordle. I have downloaded it like 8 times, but we'll make a new one. I'm extracting. I think this is my 3rd one. Ooh, there's a bunch of files in here. I wonder which one I should open. Which one of these files should I open? Wait. No. Okay. Even better. How did you know which file you should open?
It's in the instructions.
It's in the instructions. That's great. And your instructions will also be in here. Okay, that's not how I wanted to open that. That was fake. Okay, I'm going to right-click it, and I'm going to open it with VS Code. Am I? Surely VS Code's on here somewhere. It's less popular than Print Preview and Report a Problem. Okay. Oh, this is probably... I can probably just open the folder in here. Okay, I'm going to open the folder. All right, so this is Wordle or whatever. Do you trust the authors? Absolutely, because I'm the authors. Ooh, I should open one of these. Which one should I open? Wordle.py. Okay. Why did Copilot turn itself back on? Did you see that? Copilot, go away. Hide AI features. Okay. I'm gonna press the run button. Okay, I'm pressing the run button on the code. Okay. Okay, it didn't work because I'm on Linux. Okay, I forgot about that. So this is a bad example. I fixed one. Let's see. Did I fix this one? Oh gosh. This example is getting really, really bad really fast. Anyways, it'll work for you. Is this one gonna work? No, that one didn't work either. Okay, that's fine. We're just gonna close this and we're just gonna go over it in class, okay? Cool. It'll work for you. Did you check to see if it works? No, because I haven't assigned it yet. Okay, all right. I'm doing my best. Okay, that's not true. I'm doing like pretty well. I could probably do slightly better if I worked harder. Okay, so here's Project 1 Wordle. It pops up. It looks like this. You can type in it. Okay, what is Wordle? You all know what Wordle is because I've been playing it with you in class all. Okay, right? You can just skip this whole thing, right? It's only in there in case someone asks me if the instructions were complete. So just don't open B. Don't even look at. Okay. What is WordleGraphics.py? Doesn't matter. But it does give you these things, okay? So when you're playing Wordle, one of the things you're supposed to do is someone will clickety-clack type away in a word. And I guess it will be soupy. That's the only word we did today that I remember. Someone will type in soupy and press enter. And then when that enter happens, the enter action, which is this function right here, this function will run when someone presses enter. This is not like the functions we've written so far that run when you press run in VS Code. It is much closer to the functions that ran when you pressed play in Carol. But instead of pressing play in Carol, you press enter. Okay, you press this button, and then what do? That's a great question. Initially, you display a word, but you can do other things with words, right? You can see what letters are in a row and a column. You can set the letter in a row and a column. So if someone types something in, you can display the letters. You can show messages like you lose, or I don't know how you would do that in a show message. I guess you could do like the finger guns emoji, right? Or I guess it's just there's just a pointing emoji, right? What do you do? Two of them. Okay. You can change the colors of squares, which should probably be interesting to you. You can see what the current row the text is going into. And then also, so I didn't know this because I've never looked at it, but when you play Wordle, it like changes the keyboard color at the bottom of your screen. I've never looked at the keyboard. I didn't know it would, like I didn't perceive it. I only looked at the game board, and that was how I kept track of letters. And apparently that makes me a total psycho, right? Like I've never met a single other person that claims to do this. So when I implemented my own Wordle, which I did years ago, it's this one. This just doesn't have the keyboard on it because I didn't remember it was there when I was working on it, right? So, anyways, apparently I'm weird. I don't know. But anyways, you're not allowed to be weird. You have to set the key color. But notice this is last. So, one of the other things to bring up when we're introducing the projects, a lot of students like to start these like 45 minutes before they're due, and then they don't get finished. Now, none of you are going to do that, right? It's just other students that do that, right? If you start this 45 minutes before it's due, don't work on the keyboard. Try and do everything else and then just turn in something on time. Do not turn this in late. Okay. Okay, so this is the Wordle graphics. You don't open this file, but you have access to this the same way you had access to move and turn left from Carol. There is one kind of critical thing that you have to do here, which is the first thing you have to do is you have to say GW equals Wordle G window. Why do we say GW? It stands for graphics window. It's just the name of the graphics window. And so whenever you're referring to things that are happening in the graphics window, such as changing the letter of a color, the color of a letter, there we go, first try. What do we say after we get it on the first try? We say first try. Yeah, absolutely, right? You're going to be saying first try a lot. I say it a lot too. So you're going to have to type GW dot in front of all of this stuff. And it'll just be referring to this GW. It's kind of weird. Don't worry about it. Okay. First thing you do is display a word. I'm recommending you do this by Tuesday. I gave these 3 examples of words because I was really into the Alien movie when I wrote these instructions last year. Do y'all like Alien?
Never seen it. It's pretty good.
There we go. One of you got the right answer. Good job. Okay. I heard that, so the person that made the Alien films, I guess, is named Ridley Scott, and it was referred to as, like, the director for people that think they like movies but don't actually understand movies. And that spoke to me, because I really don't understand movies, but I want to, right? So, like, Alien is perfect for me, because there's no subtext at all.
Maybe you can start by getting a letterbox.
I have a Letterboxd account.
Wait, what is that?
If you can't find it, that's on you. Okay. No, it's Professor Calvin. I don't know what it is. Do y'all have Letterboxd accounts? Is that like the only social media people use anymore?
Yeah.
Anyways, I watched a movie recently and I forgot to put it on Letterboxd, and now I don't know what the movie was because it's not on my Letterboxd. I have no record. Like, that time of my life just disappeared.
It's writing thing. Everybody's forgetting everything.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Including what I was talking about. Okay, I've given you 2 hints here. I wrote a word to row function and a word from row function. What do these do? Given a row, they either take a word or place a word in the row. And that was a single for loop for me. Here's another hint on capitalization. In Wordle, which we just played, you're often expected to display the words all capitally like. But the pile of words we give you, see this pile of words? These words are lowercase. Isn't that annoying? So here is some sample code that changes guesses from uppercase to lowercase. And you can just run this. I heard you not believing me. Here we go. Oh, I didn't save it as a Python file. There we go. Words. Oh, English words is not defined. That's terrible. What do I need to do? Oh, I can just put this in Wordle, right? I'll put it here. And I need to indent these lines, right? Because it's in an if statement. So I'm going to, what is it? Is it Control-Alt? Is that how I get multi-cursor? Control-Shift? Okay, Control-Shift. Okay. So there, hello, hello, hello. That's the initial guess, which I typed in as hello. There's the lowercase version of the guess, which I did. Guess.stir lower. And then that's the uppercase guess. Okay. Look at this code. If you type in the word hello and it says it's not an English word, it's because it's either all capital or all lowercase or one that it's not supposed to be. So that's one of your other hints. Okay. The next day, on Wednesday, you check your guess validity. How do you do that? You check to see if the guess is in the English words word list somehow. You know how to work with the English words word list because I'm asking you to find the longest English word that has no duplicates. Is that what I asked you to do? Does that sound right? So you already know how to check words in there, right? So all you have to do is see if a word is in there. There's a variety of ways to do that, and you can figure it out. On Thursday, so I'll have seen you by then, and you'll have gone to your sections, and you'll be working on this on Thursday, right? You have to do all of this nonsense. And how does this nonsense work? It's not too bad. It's written down. If the letter's in the correct position, you color it green, which is called correct color or something. What's it called? Correct color. If it's in the word and in the wrong position, you color it present, which is the yellow color, which is called present color. And you can see this is how you use it. gw.setSquareColor. This is the 0th row and the 0th column. And you set it correct color. And then the remaining colors are gray. You don't have to worry about the keyboard yet. You can do the keyboard at this time if you want, because of course the letters will be the same. Okay? Does that make sense? Have y'all played Wordle? We can't play it today because we already played it. Okay, all right. One of the next things to do on Friday. Initially, all this stuff is assuming you just put in some word to start with, and I always start with blimp. Blimp's my favorite starting word for when I'm testing things. The reason for that is I asked ChatGPT what the funniest 5-letter word was, and it said, I kid you not, fart, which is a 4-letter word, because it doesn't know how many letters are in words, so I was like, can you try again? And it tried many times, and the first 5-letter word it got was blimp. That's a true story. I'm assuming they fixed that. I don't use it anymore. Yeah. We can do a collaborative learning thing where we all open ChatGPT and ask for the funniest 4-letter word, but I'm scared of what it's going to say, right? Okay, fine. ChatGPT. Log in? No! Absolutely not. Stay logged out. Always stay logged out. That's not ChatGPT specific. What would be the funniest 5-letter word for Wordle? Question mark? Question mark, question mark. zappy. These are terrible.
Hooch.
Look, it went for farty again. What is wrong with Wordle? None of these are good words. Last time I asked, you said blimp. Isn't that better than all of these? Isn't, yeah, better. It's the agree with me machine. Ah, yes. It is better.
Ah, yes, it is better.
I lied. Actually, last time, you said it was, what's another silly word?
Black.
Blag?
Blaggle. Gaslight is blaggle's a word.
Blaggle?
Make it non.
Make it
Give it a
non.
4-letter word.
You said it was turnip. Anyone love turnips? I don't know how to spell turnip.
Yeah, I believe.
Why are you gaslighting me? You, what is the clanker? I think that's what you're supposed to call them. Ooh, got him. Okay, all right. People say the AIs are intelligent. I could respond to that. Okay. Want a ranking? I'll give it to you straight. Okay. Okay. I don't know what. Wait. No, my browser didn't crash. Busted. You're right. Look, turnip. It has the funny factor of 5 fires. Hey, just real quick. I'm a little bit of a silly goose. How many letters are in turnip? I can't count. Because I'm definitely not a clanker. Yeah. Oh yes, it agrees that we're both. That's 6 letters. Blimp, undefeated. Okay, all right. I don't know why we did that. Okay. Back to the project. Okay, so generate a random 5-letter word and do not do it by talking to ChatGPT. Okay? You can talk to ChatGPT if you want. I talk to ChatGPT about all of my problems, and that's why my life is so well put together. I think that was more of a self burn than a ChatGPT burn. Okay. I wrote a function called random 5-letter word. You don't have to do that. Here is some sample code. You can take a look at this. Oops, it's not indented, so I indent it. It printed a word, I guess. Oh, it printed all of the words in a random order. Oh, this is a random order, right? That's not alphabetical. Slushy, great 5-letter word. Actuary, boron. Any chemists? No, okay. Okay, so, all right. Think through this conceptually and imagine what we've done so far. Okay. You've displayed a word. You get rid of that code when you're done with it. You now have the ability to check guess validity given some word. You have the ability to color letters, and you have the ability to pick a random word. But you can't do more than one word. So you have to have some way to change rows. So like all of this stuff only affects the first row. It's only showing the first row. So on Saturday, because we all work on the weekends, right? You don't have to. You can finish it before then. Okay. On Saturday, you need to change the current row so that wherever people are typing, they type somewhere else. So like, we imagine this is row 0, this is row 1, and this is row 2. And you change that over time. I think there are 6 total rows, but you don't have to worry about that because we give you something called n rows. It's n rows. Right here, we can print n rows. And it'll be 6 or something. There it is. Okay. Okay. Once you've done this, you're pretty much done. The one thing you have to do now is I'm adding like game overing here. So if you get to row 6 and the word is wrong, then you have to be like, nice try. The word was turnip, right? And then also if someone guesses the correct word, you end the game early, right? And then the last thing to do is coloring the keys, and that's just use gw.setKeyColor. That's it. So this is just an additional line of code you'll add somewhere, you're guaranteeing. In CS1 in general, you are recommended to do extensions to projects. And so here's a list of some extensions. I think your section leaders expect an extension to give you the highest score, which is like a double plus or something. They don't grade it using letters. My grading scale that converts section leader grades into grades in my class just takes the 2 highest grades as 100%. So I don't require extensions. But learning might require extensions, so you might want to work on an extension for this assignment. So here are some extensions you can do if you get that far. What I would really like you to do is have code that works turned in on time for your section leaders, and that's it. Oh, by the way, the section leaders grade the projects, I don't. So just be advised. The hard part of Wordle is dealing with double letters. That's that. That's just the hard part. So what you could also do is get everything working except double letters, and then you'll be fine. Wait, why is my stream's current bitrate too low? Settings. Does anyone know how to stream? Video, advanced. Where is it? Wait, no, I saw something. This is too low. What's this supposed to be? 6800. Okay. Apply. Okay. Is it good now? Hey, there's concurrent viewers. Who's watching? Everyone say, what's up, YouTube?
What's up, YouTube?
Okay. All right. So, here's where I think we are in the class. You have an assignment due this evening. It has a few things with strings. What I would like you to do with strings is be able to loop over the strings, look at the letters, and see if there's like other letters related to them. So you're going to be putting for loops inside of other for loops inside of if statements and so on. You're going to nest this. Here is one example. This is a for loop. And we can follow the for loop down and we can see this block is in the for loop because of indentation. And within this for loop there is an index, an if block, which we can check also by its indentation. So what does this do? I'm just going to make a new Python file finally. Thing.py. We can take some words, which is going to equal, I don't know, what are some people's favorite words? Obviously blimp is first. We had soupy. Cliff is a 5-letter word. I just thought of that.
Yeah.
Sure. Been listening to the Lorna Shore album? I have. Okay.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you. Any, you have a 5-letter word? Happy. There we go. Good enough. So we can print words. There it is. And we can print spaces to underscores of words. Ooh, no, we can't. Oh, I just spelled it wrong. Oh, that's not even close. That's like a completely different idea. Okay. And how does this work? Well, let's print at every stage. So, if I throw blimp, soupy, cliff, death, happy into my spaces to underscores function, what happens? Well, I'm going to loop over each I value here. Hey, oh, let's put the index too. Y'all want to see the index? I want to see the index. Oh, that's more fun, right? Okay. So at position 0, there's no letter there, I guess. Oh yeah, we haven't done anything yet. Okay. So we have a blank string. We look at the 0th position in the string blimp. If s at that index, so that's s0, is space. I think this could say is as well as in. Same thing. So if that letter is space, then I'm going to add an underscore to my new string, and otherwise I'm just going to add over the same letter. So what goes on? So for all of blimp, I just copy over the letters exactly. Then at index 6, what happens? Well, I saw a space there, so instead of providing a space, I provide an underscore, which I add on to new, and then I add an underscore onto the end. Does that make sense? Like heads rattling? Can I get a thumbs check in? No one's putting their thumbs up. I'm looking at this entire row and not a single person is reacting. Not the front row, the back row. It's always the people in the back that don't participate. Okay. I feel like this is kind of like a speak now or forever hold your peace angle, but I also want you to understand this. Does anyone want to ask a question about this? Could you write this code? Okay. If I asked you as an in-class exercise to write code that takes all of the vowels out of a word, could you do that? Okay. I don't really like probably, but that's probably better than I was going to get otherwise. Okay, whatever. Okay. Thank you. Anyways, introducing Wordle. I did this already, but I want to go through the slides and show you what it looks like. Okay. Wordle is due Monday. There's 5 problem sets. There is a web demo. Can I type in this one? Yeah, okay. That's not a word. That's interesting. Do you see how it's moving down? I didn't know it did that. Blimp. Soupy. Aegis. Oh, there's an S at the end? Someone in this classroom claimed there were no plurals in Wordle. Numps.
Well, I just don't think it's a plural.
Oh, you don't think it's a plural?
Also, this isn't.
Aegis isn't at all.
This is the most actual Wordle.
The actual Wordle has.
No, this is ground truth. Okay, nice try. Jumps. I don't know, right? So like, you can play it here. Apparently, when you press enter, it moves down on the screen, which I didn't anticipate. But this is what it looks like, and also you've played Wordle. So, okay. This is what the initial thing looks like, and you've seen this. It doesn't fit that well on the slide, but here it is. And I put a bunch of other stuff in here. You're just going to have this. Actually, I wonder if I can... Don't look at this. Is this going to work now? Okay. So, why'd I go with hates? That's so, happy. Happy. I almost said happy. I like that. So this is what your Wordle window looks like, right? So you'll do this. I will post the assignment after class. I will update you in Discord. You can go grab it tonight. You don't have to start working on it right away, but it'd be good to start working on it in the next 2 days. Okay, so that's happy. Here are the different things you can do with happy. Let's do an example of setting the square letter. So, we'll do it here. What letter should we use? I'm going to go for the 0th row and the 0th column, and I'm going to set the letter. I'm going to put an exclamation point there, which I don't think is a legal Wordle letter, but it's going to show up. Oh, what happened? What went wrong? There's some kind of disaster? Keyboard interrupt? What is happening? Okay, so that's how you can put an exclamation point in some place. Now, what's going to happen if I change this 1 to a 3 and run the code again? Do you think it's going to move over vertically or horizontally? I don't know. I'd have to check. So apparently that moves it down. So I didn't know that. By the way, you don't have to know that either. Just check. Like if you guess wrong, no one got hurt from doing that, right? Also, what is going on? This feels a lot snappier to me than Carol as well. I don't know if you've noticed this is opening and closing pretty quickly. Okay, what are some other things we can do? We can get the square letter. That's more useful after someone types something in, but that's okay. We added event listener down here already. Or is that right there? Ooh, we could do something on enter. Here, I'll press enter and then something will happen. This will be fun. Okay, so I'm going to run this code, and for some reason I can only run it every other time. Okay, I'm going to press enter, and the exclamation point shows up. Did you all see that? Okay, and I think if I do it again, it just keeps showing up, so I'm not getting more. I can still type. Why do I keep going hates? No, death, that's also happy, yes. Smile. Hey, that's a good one. Yeah, right. Cheer. There's a film called Cheer. Has anyone seen it? Any letterboxers? Okay. You can show messages. You can set the square color. Okay, let's set a square color. What color do we want our exclamation point to be? Did you say pink?
Yes.
Okay. I was hoping you were going to say one of these, but I'm going to just type pink in there and see if it works, okay? Pink is a good choice. Why am I typing link? I bet this will work. Apparently it only works every other time I run it. Okay. Enter. Okay, pink works. Cool. Talk to your section leader if you can use custom colors. In theory, I'm supposed to tell you to use correct color, which looks like this. And I press enter, and then we do smile. Notice when I type through this, it keeps the text of the letter. Or no, it keeps the color of the letter regardless of what text I type in. Also, when I press enter, I get the exclamation point back, and I do not go to the next line. I'm still stuck on the first line. So to change all of that, you have to change the code. Okay. Wait, set current row? I can set the current row. I'm gonna change the current row. I'm gonna change the current row to be 3. Okay. Let's go ahead. We're gonna press play. We're going to press play again, and we don't know why, and that's totally fine. That's not a problem. We're not stressed out about that at all. Okay, so I'm typing relic. I don't know. I needed a 5-letter word. Okay, I'm going to press enter, and what's going to happen? An exclamation point is going to show up in position 0, 3. So row 0. Column 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So it'll be right here. That'll be colored correct color. And then the current row will be set to row 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. So if I start typing, I think it'll show up here. And press enter. I got my exclamation point. What happens if I start typing? Oh, it's in row 3. Okay, so you also know how to change rows, right? If I press enter again, I'm still in row 3. You can get the current row. You can set key colors. Oh yeah, we can set a key color. Sorry, I also forgot this. Had a keyboard. What key do you want to change the color of? Let's make P pink. I think we can do that. Okay. GW.set letter. Hold on. Set key color. Would not have guessed that was it. Set key color. I'm guessing it's P and pink. Hello. Okay.
Whoa.
Right? That's crazy. Right? And then again, you're not really supposed, or like, it's not intended you use pink or whatever. Though you should just use pink if that's your truth. Don't let the haters tell you to not use pink. Pink is based. Okay. We can instead do present color. Yeah, this is still going. Let's hit the trash can a bunch of times. Hello. Rates. Okay, now it's present color. Okay, I think that's all you need to know to do Wordle. Is that right? Is there anything else on this screen? Okay. Okay. Right. Aim to complete 1 milestone per day. It has been explained to me, and I guess I believe this because I don't know why I wouldn't, that you are much more productive if you work in 6 1-hour chunk than 1 6-hour chunk. Yeah. And there's probably some, like, optimality curve where, like, 24 15-minute chunks is also not good. I think the milestones are a good size chunk. I'm guessing if you, like, are locked in and you get it on the first try, it's like a 10 to 15-minute thing. It probably shouldn't be going that much over an hour if you're, like, focused and feeling good. if it's over an hour, you should probably take a walk and come back and be like, oh, why didn't I do it this way, right? And if after the walk you still don't, be like, oh, why am I doing it this way? Your walk should have gone to the quad center, where someone will just tell you the answer, right? I'm recommending you submit your code on GitHub after every milestone. Why is this? For some reason, and no one knows why, someone's computer explodes 5 seconds before they said they were going to submit their project every semester, right? I don't know how this happens every semester. But I've also exploded a lot of computers, so that's extremely relatable to me, right? So, turn in your code while you're working on it, so that if your computer explodes, you get a 95% instead of a 0%, okay? Basically, the way I think we've managed to get grading to work on these things historically is like, I don't know, a halfway done Wordle looks a lot like a fully done Wordle, and a not started Wordle looks a lot like nothing, right? So, like, get somewhere and get it turned in. You can skip around a little bit, but not much. You can skip around more on Wordle than on other ones, because you can skip the first and last milestone and do them at any time. Okay. I'm recommending you write these functions for milestone 0 and use them later on. And I'm recommending you do that with set square letter and get square letter. Here's an example. I'm going to print gw.get square letter 0, 0. I'm going to run this code, and I'm going to type in A, B, C, D, E. Okay? When I press enter, a bunch of things are going to happen, right? But most importantly, an A is going to pop up right here. That's because this function will return the value A, which is in position 0, 0. What this means is that, very similar to this function, which does a for loop over certain locations, you can write a function that when you press enter tells you what word you got. And I'm not going to write it for you, but I could if I wanted to. And you could write it for you too if you wanted. Okay. So this is what my code basically looked like at the end. I was returning nothing from word from row because I didn't start, but this is how I did it. Why is this? Well, another question I've gotten a lot. I've tried to be really insufferable about this, but y'all seem to still be like indentation atheists, and that's fine, right? But it does in fact matter where you put these functions. And specifically, what matters is for this project, and we can understand this in a variety of ways, basically the place you want to put functions is indented one time under def Wordle. And the reason for that is because GW is inside def Wordle, and we have to refer to that. So what we can also do is print letter 0, 0. And I can put the same code inside this function, and then I can call this function from inside of here. And then I will, oh no, I only see the A when I press enter. Okay, attic A. And if I do another enter, so if I do hello down here, what's going to happen? I'm going to see the message, you need to implement this method, which you still do, this is still incorrect. It's going to put the exclamation point here, it's going to set it to correct color, it's going to change the row to 3, it's going to set P to the present color, and it's going to print letter 0, 0 again, which is still A. So I will see the A again. If I were to place this, for example, before Wordle, I'm getting told I don't have correct indentation, that's true. And I type attic, press enter, I get an error which says GW is not defined. Which GW is that? That is this GW, which is only defined inside the Wordle function, which means all of my functions that refer to GW and therefore edit the game board must be written inside of this Wordle function. Is that confusing? Say yes. No? Okay. You reserve the right to not be confused by this, but I thought it was kind of confusing. So all of the functions you write, or let's see, what was it, like row to word, and that returns a word of some kind, and then def word to row, which is provided with word. And I don't know, I guess you don't do anything there for now. So these can work here because they have to refer to GW. Get square letter. And then we can set square letter here as well. Okay, so that's what I think your code will look like on Tuesday. You can play around with all of this lower upper stuff, but here's a good example. You can get a letter, which is going to be this one here, and you can set it to lower. What is this doing? I am reading a letter from the graphics window. I am changing it to be its lowercase self, and then I'm going to print the letter. Attic, and I get a lowercase a. Why is it useful to get a lowercase a? Because there's a bunch of lowercase a's in this file.
If you set it to letter.upper, does it print it as uppercase?
Mm-hmm. This one? Or I'm going to do a different word just so we have different letters, but blimp. So then we get the capital B. There's basically two ways to do this. Basically always work with uppercase letters or always work with lowercase letters, but the graphics window is going to give you uppercase letters, and English.py is going to give you lowercase letters, so you have to change one of them. That's all. For milestone 1, it is nice to check a guess. How do I do that? I wrote the function row to word on milestone 0. So when I press enter, I check what row I'm in. I read the word from that row, and I check to see if that word is in English words. That's all. The reason to take time on this is like it's touching a lot of things, right? This is the first time you interact with the graphics window and English.py at the same time. So you could sit down, write this code in 5 seconds. You could sit down and take an hour to write this code. Just be ready for that. It's just like some complexity to think about. And look out for things like, oops, I was writing my code out here, or wherever. Okay. That's milestone 1. Milestone 2 is you color the row. I specified here that the row should probably be an integer, and the answer should be a string. You can do this however you want, right? But I wrote color row, and what color row did is I basically, after enter, someone pressed enter, I said color row. And then I had a bunch of things down here that was like def color row, blah, 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 gw.set square color for a bunch of them. So I had a bunch of set square colors after doing a color row. And again, this took a, what was it? I think it took a row number and the answer. So this was like 3, or I think there's something called gw get current row, and then also whatever the answer is. So when I was starting off, it was blimp, and then later on, it was like getting a random letter or random word. Do all of the word coloring here. This is the hard part. Milestone 2 is the most code, most lines of code. You'll have to think about it. You can spend a little bit more time on this. Milestone 3, color the letters. Or milestone 2, blah, blah, blah. This is still color the letters. Milestone 3 is random word. This is all you need to know. Somehow, grab a word from English and don't grab the same word every time. And you can use random to do that. There's a bunch of ways to do this with random. This was my recommendation. Talk to your section leaders. They might have another recommended way to do this. But this was my recommendation. I guess I'll say one other thing on this. So you know how to like loop over English words and like find words that have certain attributes, like no duplicate letters. You can probably also figure out how to loop over English words and only take words that have 5 letters. So that's sort of the thinking here. Milestone 4, change rows. I've shown you that. And then milestone 5 is don't get influenza, a computer crash, run over by a Zamboni, or are there any cool TV shows coming out? I guess this is Silk Song. So like whatever happens, get things turned in early, not just on time. Okay. And I think that's that. That's for Wordle. We have 10 minutes, and I suspect you should want to ask me questions about things, but we've been oddly quiet today, other than guessing strange words. Yes?
Can you tell me more about the set square letter?
Yeah, sure. So,
Because if I don't want it to always be an exclamation point, what should I do?
you should put a variable there. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so set square letter. And I have to say gw.setSquareLetter because it's referring to the graphics window. And I give this a location. But really we should think of this as an x and y location and some c value. I can take, let's see. How did I do random? So I'm going to put some random stuff in here. And that'll be an example, right? So I'm going to take some letters, which is going to be, I'll just take a random English word. Okay, so for random.shuffle of English words, oops, I'm just going to look at the first word. So I'm going to print English words 0. And then I'm going to set the square letter, we'll say first word, equals English words 0. And we'll say, I'm going to set the square letter to be the first letter of the first word. So first word 0. So when I press enter, I haven't defined x and y, so that's no problem. Well, I'm just going to put 3, 3 in there for now. Is that okay? You can change these. So when I press enter, this time I get a C. This time I get an S. So this is a way to put in different letters. So if you're picking a random word, you would put in letters from the random word. And then if someone's typing things in, that's when you use that. In the final version of Wordle that you like turn in, you don't use this at all. Because to my knowledge, or you might in an extension, like if you want to pop up good job in the game grid, you can do that, right? This is just to get familiar with showing things on the screen. It's much more common to use get square letter. And then take these letters and check to see if they're a word. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. All right, anything else? Okay, I have to try and review your names, which is very stressful to me. No, I don't. Okay, so I sprained my ankle. That's why I'm sitting down. So I don't think I have to stand up and walk around. So I'm just going to look at you and think if I can remember what your names are. Any questions on problem set 3?
I'm kind of like struggling with how to figure out the order for the last problem. The order of
Which one's the third one? Oh, Open Globish. It's something like this, right? Any create and return a new string which will be identical to the old string except any instance of the letter A, I, O, U will be prefixed with OB. Okay. This is close, right?
It's super helpful if I can't see.
Oh, you can't see? Wait, is there a way to turn on? There's not a screen over there.
No. You can turn into the live stream. You can't.
You could tune into the live screen.
Here, look, see it.
You're not
Actually,
There we go. So here we have blobimp. Okay, what do we get at the end? I'm going to get rid of this thing, because that's just printing a bunch. We have bloblimp, saboop-boopy, klobif, debebath, and hubapi. So what's going on there? We're not respecting this rule,
Yeah.
that the previous letter is a vowel. So that's no problem. We say previous was vowel. And for the first word, it's not true. But if the previous is a vowel, this is the vowel. So then we say prev was vowel equals true. And then I think otherwise we say false, right? Was vowel equals false. Is that better? Oh, is there none of these words have two vowels in a row?
Soupy does.
Soupy does? Is Soupy still wrong? Yeah, I think so, right?
I think you need to be like, and previous was vowel equal false in your if.
Yeah, okay. If and prev was vowel equals false. There we go. Yeah, so you check to see if the previous was a vowel, and you check to see if the current is a vowel. And you can do this, however. Another thing to do is you can build from the end of the word or something. Like, I don't know, whatever you want to do. And then what was the last thing to do? Is E in the final letter. Okay. So basically you also have to write something here that's like, and S index not equal E and like final. So, and you'll write some statement.
Yeah.
And it'll be long. I don't have anything ending with an E in my example. I think that's right. Bloblimp, saboopy, klobif, debeath, and hibapi. That seems fine. Should we check any other words? What's a 5-letter word that has 3 consecutive vowels in it? Oh, we don't have to do a 5-letter word. I'm going to do Lewis. Oh, that's a name, so that's fine.
St. Louis.
That looks bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so this needs to be somewhere else. If
That's what I'm like.
previous vowel was false, then you do this. Previous was a vowel regardless if this happens. Rev, prev. That's fine. Labuus. Okay, and then you just do one other check here. So then the last letter E is in this line, I think. So you basically have to check 3 different things before you add an OB,
Okay.
I think.
That's kind of not working for me. I don't know if that's.
Oh, we're out of. Oh no, we're not out of time. That clock's wrong.
Yeah.
We got time. Let's do something that ends with E. Anyone have a word that ends with E?
Amaze.
Amaze. Thank you. Okay. So we're cooked here because this is supposed to be Aboma Bays, right? That should be Obama Bays, like that. So we check if previous was a vowel. Wait, can I just give you the homework answer? Is this unethical?
It's certainly a moral dilemma.
It is a moral dilemma. I wish I hadn't thought about it, because now I'm thinking about it more. Okay. If previous was vowel, and... So we're going to check one other thing. We're going to see that we're not last. Not index equals len s minus 1. There we go. That gets rid of it in all cases, but that breaks in the case of what's something that ends in a vowel that isn't E? Alibi. So that breaks on alibi. Oh, which is terrible because there's a bunch of B's in it. Oh, we need something else. Aloe. Nope, that has an E at the end. Y'all are not helping me with words. 5-letter word, no B's, ends in a non-E vowel.
Should be.
Y is not a vowel.
I think it should be.
But it could be, but we would have to change this.
Just type a single letter. A do.
I can bid you adieu.
Wow, we're going to get absolutely clowned by a do. Okay. So that one's fine. Why is that one fine? Because it's a special case where there's multiple vowels in the row at the end. And we've already dealt with the multiple vowels in a row case. Oh, sorry. Did you have one? I'd settle for anything. Anyways, alibi is broken. And S index equals E. So I think you might have to put this in commas or something, or in parentheses or something. And I think that's fine. Nope, that didn't work. Let's see. Not. It's something like this. I don't know. See you on Wednesday. Have a nice day. I'll post Wordle soon. I just have to make sure it's working. Wait, is my stream healthy? No, it's excellent connection. Excellent connection.
Yeah, I got better something.